Okay, so just like we have string or methods and properties that we can use for strings, and we have string objects, we have the same for numbers. So let's go ahead and create a variable here, and I'll set it to, let's say, the number 5. And then I'm going to console log down here. If I log number, we get 5. If we look at the type of this variable, it's a number. Now we can also have number objects using the number constructor. So we can say new number, and there probably won't be too many times where you use this explicitly, but like I said before, JavaScript does put a wrapper around it and turn it to an object if you use methods. But if we look at the type, you'll see now we get object. And you can set this to 5 if you want, or keep it like this. I'm just going to keep it like this. And then I'm going to just create a variable for our output, because I just want to show you some of the methods that we can use. Now we've looked at toString. So if we say num.toString, that's going to give us the number as a string. Now there is no length property for numbers. So if I were to say x equals num.length, you see I'm going to get undefined. However, if you want to get the length of a number, like you want to know how many digits it is, you could do toString, right? So just turn it to a string and then chain on length, and now you'll see I get 1. If I were to add, let's say 500, then it gives me 3. All right, so that's toString. We also have toFixed, which is going to give you or allow you to specify the number of decimal points. So let's say .toFixed. You can see we have the drop down of methods here. So toFixed, and I'll say 2. And even though our number is 5, it's just going to give us 5.00. Now, if we look at the type, so if we look at the type of x, you can see it is a string. So if we take a number and then we use toFixed on it, it's going to turn it into a string representation of a decimal. So let's get rid of that. And then if I were to, let's say this number, I'll make it 5.4567. If I save that, I'm just going to get 5.46. Now it gives me 6 because it rounded this up, right? If I were to do 4.52 and save that, then I get 4.5. Now we also have toPrecision, which is kind of similar, but we count the whole number. So if we say 3, actually let's do 2, and I save it, then it doesn't give me 2 decimal places, it gives me 2 in total. So we'll do 5.5. And if I were to change this, let's say 45 to 42, and save that, it's going to give me 5.4. Right? If I say toPrecision 3, then it's going to give me 3 digits, 5.42. So that's toPrecision. We also have toExponential. So we'll say x equals num.toExponential, and that will get us the exponential of, let's say, we'll say 2. If I save that, then we're going to get that as a result. Let's actually change this back to 5. So toPrecision and toExponential are ones that I don't really use very much. Now you might be working in a different location, a different locale. So there is also toLocaleString. So if we do that, and then, I mean, by default, I think it's going to do where you are. So for me, it would be EN-US, since I'm in the US, which just gives me 5. But let's say you're in Egypt, which is, I think, AR-EG, and save. That's the representation of the number 5, I guess. I mean, I don't know the Egyptian numbers or whatever, but I'm guessing that's what it is. All right, so that's toLocaleString. I'm just going to put that back to EN-US. Now, there's not too much else to look at as far as methods. If we do num and we look at the prototype, I mean, that's pretty much it, all the ones we looked at, right? I mean, there is value of as well. So if I do x equals num.value of, and we save that, let's console log x, that just gives me the value, right? Now there are on the number object itself, there are properties. So for instance, we can get the largest possible number for the number type by doing number with a capital N dot and then all capital max underscore value. So I'm going to set that to X. So that's the largest number possible that we can use with number. And then if you want to get the lowest possible, we can do X equals, let's say, number dot and then min value, which is that number there. Okay, so there's not much else to look at in terms of methods that we can use on numbers. So in the next video, I want to look at the math object.